Paying attention to digital wall frame positions. I was outside. I usually do maybe between 2 to 3 days a week. I walk outside. Gravity shifts its positional key in line conditions. So I was going through a plasma wall interference. I've sent out new more comprised moment position line centers to conditions to the moon, and it's interfacing through condition new behavior line center, which is allocated positions of time location. Basically, we're coming into higher positions of new behaviors. So the moon is in erratic position location. Remember, I was telling you about this sun? Well, today's the moon positions. So it's amazing how we come into that line system. To understand what's happening to all levels in its calculation modification line system. So I've gone here through TikTok, which is pretty close to 6,000 followers, which is fantastic. I'm coming up to that. But you have to pay attention to everything through digital line system and how it allocates positions to your birth line system. So it's amazing how we come into traction. I just want to show you this where it says in the middle of followers, 59, 69, birthing line conditions. Okay, 69. That's my birth line. 1969, 59, 69. You see where I'm going with this? Everything is time capacitive position. 12 track line conditions is in the division through the location. So it centers its position to its high position line sign. So it's amazing how you come into the moon track line conditions to its program and its new program line system. Its allocated position of time location. I watched a very powerful video, which I haven't finished yet. It's on Prime Video. I'm going to show you the trailer, and it's already on my link on my YouTube. Check it out because it's very powerful. It's all about understanding what's going on as you come into your higher self, being superhuman, to be invisible, to made, okay, visible. All right. So this is the trailer. I just want you to check it out. Okay. It's important that you pay attention to these things, and I want you to watch it. It's on Prime Video. It's on now. This is the official trailer. It's about 2 minutes. It just tells you exactly what's going on with you. My voice is changing because it's going through communication, interline conditions, glitch line centers, computer positions. It's all about repositioning values in all levels to my body track line condition, because I have to come into a new moon central line system and a new central line connection of the sun interference to the new portal line connection to radiation line connection position. So that's what's happening with me right now. So when I was going through that plasma wall, it's like an orb. I actually went into the line conditions, and it just knocked me out. I mean, it was really, I just, maybe 15, 20 minutes is going up and down, and I did some shadow boxing up against the wall, and there was one surface position of a shadow, and then I created another shadow. So there was two shadows. So there was me and the physical system, but see, the sun wasn't even out. The sun wasn't out. And it was dark, but I still had a shadow. You need light to have a shadow. Okay. And then I created my other shadow, which was my intelligence. It's incredible how we see these things. So when I go over to 1,000 views and subscribe line conditions to my YouTube, I'll go live and I'll go outside and I'll show you what I see through perception. It's amazing how we come across these things. So it's about interchanging, interlocking, and interdimensional line system to communications to your own shadow. It's amazing how you do these things, right? But it was like 6 o'clock, it was still dark, and I still had a shadow, right? It's thinking, wait a minute, how's it possible you need light to have a shadow? No, that's not true, because the shadow is inside of you. It's not outside. Outside is just a reflection. That's all it is. It's just a total reflection. So I was doing some shadow boxing, I was doing some kata, I was doing some formations, I was doing some kumite. Kumite is fighting. So I was fighting the conditions. I was inner line conditions to my shadow, right? My physical line conditions of a shadow and the creation to my intelligence signal, right? But there was no light, which was fantastic, because you have to understand it's inside you. That's communication that comes out through its wall, which is its projector to its projection, which is so fascinating. So you guys should try to do that, see where you are at that position. So this trailer is all about understanding patterns, where they're basically taking celebrities People that are trying to understand what's going on with their body through patterns, the geometric shapes of patterns, the colorations of patterns, the sound tone of patterns. And it's amazing how we come into the magnetic fields of patterns. It's incredible force how we come into the transmitting and receiving. And I really want you to pay attention to this because that's what's happening to everybody else. If you get a true understanding, if you watch this trailer, Superhuman, the invisible made invisible, you will be blown away, okay? Because it's exactly what I went through when I went through my transformation manifestations. It's true to understand how they have machines, which is incredible through humanity's system. I think it's pretty amazing how they adapt and they're starting to learn more and more and more and more how we get into the connections of our thoughts, how it's programmed through the sounds of our mind. So when we create these things, for example, there was a famous Latina dancer, and basically she was a little a bit stressed, but she was happy. There was a great aura about her, but she was always confined with too much information, too much knowledge, too much intelligence, way too busy, not enough clarity, not enough focus, not enough awareness, not enough heart. So she went in, when she went into the connections of stress, and it changed the patterns as a monitor. It's amazing how it reads the signals. It's connected to the brain system, right? So it's incredible force when you see the patterns of the geometric. And she's going over to the connections. Okay, now I want you to go into positions of going into your heart. Say something that you want to do, that you always want to do. It changed the pattern of the monitor into a higher position of a geometric shape. And that's understanding how she's using her travels of 369. So it's all about the mind and its creation to its thought pattern. And they says, okay, what's your favorite color? And he says, well, it's yellow. Well, say you are yellow, become yellow. I am yellow. Okay, I'm thinking yellow. So it's amazing how it's not just outside, it's inside you. So now you're yellow. That pattern will turn yellow. It will change the geometric shape of its position, and it will high rise your graphing to its compilation. That's what I was trying to get across to you guys, how you can be set up to a monitor and everything through tone, it connects to music. And there's another through sound barrier positions where this guy came across, and really pretty fascinating how it came into sound tones and basically hooked somebody up. And she was a dancer. And basically, okay, what I want you to do is I just want you to think of behavioral line connections to tone positions. Try to think of something stress. So it came into a ring. Okay, it was a ring. And it was creating what she was going through, stress. And they said, okay, and now I want you to get in the calming center. So she got in the calming center and it changed into white. So it went from red to white. So it's amazing how you travel through the brain and how you go through the creation of the mind of what you want to think. And it's thinking, knowing, and doing. So it's a very, very powerful documentary. Okay, it's I think you'll find it really exciting because I'm going to watch it today, but it's on Prime Video, so check it out. I just sent the trailer to you guys. It's important you guys understand these things, but I just want to get that across how everything is connected to your geometric shapes of patterns and how you voice your positions to your thoughts. So whatever you do through your thoughts, when you're hooked up to a machine, you look at the before and you look at the after. It's amazing how you are connected to geometric shape and how it changes patterns through tones. Like I said, on the table, you get at the table, you put salt on the table and you get an iron bar and you hit that table, okay? And just, it changes the pattern each time you hit it, right? And if you go do, 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 it changes it again, right? Because you're changing sound, right? It's going, so it's amazing how it creates different geometric patterns, and it's all connected inside of you, right? So it's pretty incredible when you see these things. Pretty amazing when you see these things, right? So, and when I was doing some shadow boxing, see, the thing is, you don't need just the sun to see a shadow. You also have the moon, all right? But you have to understand that it's not outside, it's inside you, and that's how it reflects to its wall. So just a film projector to projection to perception. That's all it is. That's all life is based on. Okay, that's all it is. Once you get that across, then you're saying how to use your projector to your geometry shape, to your thought patterns, to your colorations, and to your travels of 3, 6, and 9. Okay, Yeah, documentary Superhuman. Yeah, you have to watch it. You have to watch it. It's very, very powerful. Okay, so I'll be giving you guys videos on what's going on right now, and on TikTok, we have ascension masters that are on TikTok right now. Okay, so it's very powerful how we come into these positions, and they're just starting off TikTok. So I call for them to help everybody else. Ascension masters, light warriors, rainbow warriors. These are true ascended masters I'm sending. Okay, so everybody understands what's happening in that position. Truly understand that we come in divine timing. Okay. Once you understand that, then you actually see the resonance and then you see the glow and you say, whoa, this is intense. This person is very powerful. So you have to understand what an ascension master is. You have to understand what a sentient is. You have to understand what a rainbow war. You have to understand what a wave shower is. You have to understand what a star seed is. Okay. These are true resonant anti-light connection positions that are on TikTok. Okay. So if you want to know, just let me know. Just DM me and I'll send them to you. They're very, very powerful. So they're in position right now to help everybody. That's the same. Divine timing is everything. But I really want you to check out the Superhuman because it's all about where I started and how I got involved. See, I move my chair and it reflects everything. So it's all about the communication. So every time I turn on my phone, I have to communicate with it. Or it just interlocks, changes everything through my positions of my day. All right. So my whole day will just be so chaotic. Right. So, and I have my earphones in. People say, why do you have your earphones in every single time you do TikTok? Well, it's a lot of interference. If I take them out, you guys will hear computers and you won't hear me talk. Right. Because I'm nothing but a computer. It's like, that's all you're going to hear. So it's kind of like you get a phone call that's announced a call, and all you hear is somebody on the other end. You're just hearing air or wind, right? So it's trying to understand how you balance everything through your ear receptive position line connections because my atmosphere is so powerful, so powerful. I'm in all formations of everything through energy. So I'm everywhere, wherever you guys are. Everything through form, everything through structure, everything through energy, everything through light, everything through traction, everything through division, everything through coloration, everything through sign, everything through atmosphere, everything through grounds. That's where I am in right now. Position. That's what the universe line system is. It's everything that connections. I was communicating. I think it was 6, 7 months ago, maybe 8 months. We're at a coffee shop in Mexico City, and Sigurd Flame and I were just basically sitting down, and I just communicated positions. And I said, well, okay, sit there, watch this, watch what's going to happen. So I looked at her coffee cup after she got it, right? I looked at it and I turned it into yin and yang, right? And there was a little blue plasma that was inside, and it wasn't filtered. It was actually inside the cup. So that was my energy transforming the actual cup into yin and yang. Okay. So it's really powerful. We see these things, how it connects and how you blend things in through transformation. And it's all done through patterns and geometric systems. So it's all about my voicing grid can travel to anywhere through divisions of time, of space. That's how powerful it is through connections, structure positions, anything through ground line centers. So you're going to see me all over. Okay. So it's like stand proceeding where you're going to see you're going to see my face. You're going to see me in your house. You're going to see me here. You're going to see me there. That's exactly what's going to happen to me. Okay, that connection line system. So my particle line system is going to be all over. It's like spreading, all over the central line connections to all universal time positions because you guys are in one track line center to universe positions. So the moon is going to go into a lot of erratic behavior. The trapping doors is in position of dimensional timeline connections, right? But it's high interfering its positions to its telepathy because the sun and the moon has to be in the line signal to the right track connections to its computer position. Okay, so that's why everybody's going into that. And see, the thing is, what's going on with everybody that's trying to understand the transformation manifestation, if you're not calm, it's going to go into that vibration of a change. It's going to go into your inner line connections. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. It's going to do that. It's going to do this. Just let it do what it needs to do. That's exactly what it is, because you have to understand everything in the atmosphere is changing in all those levels. So we have to understand how we have to get into our light bodies. Okay, because now's the time where the interline conditions of your intelligence is going to decide what to do. Okay, you take the high road or you take the low road. That's where we're at. That's the position. That's the time. We're coming into freedom. Now, you have to understand interlocking changes to your intelligence and say, no, I'm going this way, or I'm going to go this way. You're going to go straight. Where are you going to go? Okay, you can't go back. You can't go back. That's just a reference. So what are you going to do? You're going to go left, right, or straight, right? Either way, high road or low road. It's up to you. So you have to make a decision, and it's all done through intelligence. Okay, nobody's going to be left behind. But what you truly have to understand how powerful it is when you come into your dimensional time positions. So remember, anything through your intelligence can make its own decision, and it's going to react to your body. Okay, so remember, it's the servicing level to connections of nature. Nature is going to reject you on positions now because you can't stay in your three-dimensional line of its vibration. So, and this is the change. This is all against the levels of the portal, the Lion's Gate, the position line system. Trying to understand what's happening. It's all calculated and modified through space anomalies. So once you put yourself in that position, you truly understand what's going on with the sun and what's going on with the moon and everything that's going on with you through your navigations of travels. Okay, your navigation lights, earth line connections, your gravity positions of time location. Everything is done in chronological order. Okay, and that's what I do every single day with TikTok. Okay, so truly understand these things puts you in a better positions, okay, of knowing what's happening with you inside you, because it affects everything outside, right? Especially with the physical system. So the physical system has to get integration to intelligence, or the intelligence will make its own decision. That's what's happening. Okay. So yeah, so it's amazing how I do a calling. Dolores does a calling, I do a calling. So the Ascended Masters are here now, guys. All right, and they're starting off on YouTube, and they're also starting off on TikTok. Okay, you'll catch on very quick. You'll catch on quick because they're very, very high informed, and it's all about understanding who you resonate with. And that's what I'm saying. How come they weren't on there before? Because they weren't there for divine timing. Everybody comes in divine timing through time, and that's the presence of its time. So when you listen to these people, you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so they're very informative. Okay, so it's all about understanding, having a foundation, me having everything through it consists of Ascended Masters that's given to you from your commander. All right, so you have to trust these factors and know how powerful it is when it comes into major grid workers, sentience, wave showers. What is their job? Okay, so you have to understand, what does intelligence do in the sky? What does it do in the atmospheres? What does it do in the grounds? What does it do in the psychological system? What does it do for 911 when people need help? Okay, you're crossing over to the spiritual connections fully and completely. Once you come across to Ascension Masters, now you're coming into higher positions. Truth is everything, and you can understand what's going on when you hear their voice, because they're very, very powerful, right? So you should check that out on TikTok. Basically, it's important to understand these things because everything is done in sequence. Okay, and it's important that humanity gets into that position. And like I said, if the physical system doesn't make its decision, the intelligence will do it on its own, and it will affect the physical element. Okay, be cautious on that. Okay, because the intelligence needs to wake up. It has to get into dimensional of light. Okay, the atmospheres are changing, the geometric shapes, the patterns, and everything through the atmosphere's positions of the moon, and the 70,000 plateaus of computers are already set up in generation light condition. And the sun and the radiation light conditions in its division location is in its set portal position. Okay, and this is all done through the UFO positions of light conditions. Attracted connections do anything through high positions, right? Truly understand how important you are, okay, to your central lights, your body attractions, or everything through your geometries and your pattern line systems, your lights, your activation, your colors, and your chakra systems. Okay? So this goes out to everybody else and all the new viewers. Pay attention to that, because that's what's going to happen right now. You have to make a decision. And if you don't make it, your intelligence inside will make it for you. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. So this is where we're coming across right now. You have to make a decision. Okay? Time is now. It's precious. Because let's just think about it this way. You only have one physical system. In this timeline, you can live in eternity, but you only live in one physical realm connections. Okay? Your dimensional time is set in clocking. It's done through your birth and light connections. I remember saying how I was coming into high positions of 69, right? Which was 5969. Well, that's exactly what it's saying to me in the clocking location. If you look at your watch, every time that cuckoo clock opens up, cuckoo, 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 or the grandfather clock, it goes ding, ding, ding. Everything hits the 12, right? It changes its position. It changes direction. It changes vibration. It changes activation lights. It changes computer position on time location. So it's amazing why we have clocks. It's amazing why we have a watch. Okay? Watch is not just to look at, oh, look what time it is. No, it's all connected inside you. It's the same thing when I do shadow boxing. Everything, you want to see something come out, you have to understand how to communicate with the shadow inside, and then it comes out. So I had one shadow, and then I put another shadow out, which was my intelligence, right? Because it was in and out, in and out, in and out. So it's all about dimensional time, synchronizing line connections and traveling instant line positions. So there's a heavy dark, right, which is me through the physical connection, through the moon and its behavior line system, through its gravity line system, because you have to have the grounds positions, right? That's what you have to do with Mother Earth. Now, once you get into that, you create the shadow on the other side, and it's a little bit more lighter, okay? That's the intelligence, okay? So you truly understand that. And when you come into that positions, you look at the wall, and you see the higher self come out. That's the very beginning, right? You see it wants to come out, right? It wants to come out, but it's still attached. So it's going to stay attached until you understand the integration to your physical of its understanding. And that's the positions you guys are coming into, where you have to make a decision. This is the importance to understand these things. You have to get into your body of dimensional time, because everybody's in a clock of time position. Everybody is. You have different birth dates, but the intelligence is alarming you through its alertness. And it's going to make its own decision. And it's going to react high force to your physical system. Okay? So I just want to put that out there. Right? So it's all about understanding where I had to get integration of 5,000 years in the future, and now get full integration with my future self. And that's how powerful you can be. So I am the future. I know the future. I become the future. I am everything through the future. So truly understand the positions that we're in. It's truly understand how powerful you can travel. But you have to understand your connections of your thoughts. Your thoughts are everything through pattern defense positions. You come into shape line connections. Truly, truly watch Superhuman. You will be blown away, because it's exactly what this school provides. Okay, it's a good way to see it, because you see it through the monitor, you see it through the celebrities, you see it through people. These are famous people that are basically trying to figure out their body, right? And it's amazing how we have monitors that can do this through thoughts and music, right? There was a very interesting TikTok where basically there was this guy, and basically he put clips of sounds, okay, onto a tree, and the tree had a row of mushrooms, right? And it was amazing the sound bar he picked up on monitor is music. So the mushrooms were actually playing music tones. See, you have to understand that everything through nature has its tone, has its color, has its pattern. It's the most beautiful thing that we can synchronize connections. It's just not MP3. It's not downloading music. It's everything through nature. Knowing that, whoa, mushrooms can actually sing. Yes. So It's pretty powerful, right? When we get into that position, truly understand, oh, wow, this is amazing, right? So instead of downloading songs, just go outside, right? Put it to a tree with a bunch of mushrooms and you hear tones, you hear music. Has its own rhythm. It's repetitive. It's over and over and over and over, but it's really fascinating how nature is in that connection. We have to get into more positions to its intelligence of listening, okay, and seeing and being aware through its command, its voice and grid pattern, okay? So this is the positions that we're coming into right now. Pay attention to that, right? So when you're walking in the forest and you're seeing nature for the very first time and you're in your intelligence, you'll be blown away. You'll see pixies, you'll see portals, you'll see walkways, you'll see the sun, you see the compass of the sun, you see the colorations, you see the plasma interference of the sun, you see the web graphing line system of the sun. It's all inside of you. That's the sun. Outside of the physical system is just a reflection. You understand? You're the hologram inside, and everything that you see outside is just the physical of its reality. Your reality is inside of space. Okay? So we all have to get into that. We all have to get into the positions of channeling in all the time. Okay? Because if you don't do that, the intelligence will make up its mind. And it's unfortunately, it's just a reaction to everything. And that's why you get sick. That's why you throw up. That's why you can't get balanced with anything, because your intelligence needs to wake up. It's screaming inside. It needs to be let free. It's suffocating. All right. So you have to make a choice. All right. And we're in this position. You'll get this from the Ascension Masters, how important it is that you have to merge and decide what you want to do. Which door do you want to go through? You can't go back. You can go left or right or straight. You cannot go back. Right? So what I mean by going anything through left, right, and straight, the triangle, 3, 6, and 9, right? Boom, out, equation, surface, position, allocate position at the time location, right? You can't go back. Why? Because it's the past. So we can no longer reside with the past. It's changing its timeline, and everything from the moon is going to go into its erratic behavior line conditions. We have to get into the human resonance of the intelligence of balance, position to your patterns and your geometric line condition. Okay? So just be prepared. Just be prepared. Don't be surprised if the intelligence is trying to find a way to wake you up. And that's the positions we're in right now. You're awake, but you're not awake into the birth line conditions of Mother Earth. Okay? So, all right, so let's get into your questions before I get started. Tina, Jill, Samantha. Yeah. Superhuman. You have to see it. It's very important you watch it. Yeah, it's on Prime now. Yeah. The trailer is 2020, but it's actually out now, and it's a documentary which I recommend everybody watch. Okay? It's important, all right? It's important because why do I give you things, right? We're going to have a quiz on it, okay? Because it's going to come into next positions because we're coming into the galactic forces of another test, review, and evaluation. All right. So it's important you watch that. Watch the whole thing. Okay. Don't worry about if it's a test, review, and evaluations. You're not sure what's going to happen with that position. But I just want you to truly understand how you can take an actual human, right, in that position and how you can change the form position of thought patterns to its connection, right, to coloration, and how it can change everything through its geometric of its travel line system. Okay. So that's conditions of AI. And it's all done through vibration. Okay. So it's amazing how you change your thought, you change the geometrics of your travels. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's what I was trying to explain to you guys. Every single time I do a drawing is all done through a monitor, right? Because you are a monitor of yourself, which is your projector. And your projection is everything that you see through reflection. So everything that you see outside is just a reflection. That's all it is. Everything you see inside is its hologram. of you through its creation of its reality, which is space and time. Okay, so we have to get into that position, get into and out of the reversing, and get into the internalized system of us. Okay, that's what we have to get into. We have to get into our solar generator lights. We have to get into spectrum positions. We have to come into our primal division line connections to its division location. All right, through intelligence. So, yeah, let's see here. Superhuman, yeah. I've seen a little bit of it, but I'll watch the whole thing right now. Yeah, you should, because there's going to be a test review and evaluations for you guys. So, all right. Good morning, Diane, Samantha. Good morning, Diane. Jill. I saw that device is so cool. See, the thing is, too, is that you also have to come into positions where children are basically on a different cycle than adults. We're all aligned through the same thing, but it's understanding to stay in the calming center position because they don't understand what's going on with the transformation and its manifestation. All right. I went through the same thing, but I was an adult. Children go through the same thing, but they're children. So it's all about the same. They already have their imaginations, and that confuses the alignment line system so that it comes back into balance positions. Okay. So that's what's happening right now, Samantha, with your son. Okay. So it's trying to understand what's happening within, as he's coming into his connections of his third eye, and how he's coming into his behavioral line connections to his chart line connections, and how he's coming into his heart cycle to its intelligence. So he has to find a way to communicate with his intelligence. You can help him with that through communication. Go into the mind system and communicate with your son, right? So we all have to channel in, right? When we come into our connections of the phone. Okay, you can't just, look at your phone, turn it on. It doesn't work that way. You got to communicate with it. Right? And I keep saying to everybody is that these are the times that we're changing. Remember, everything that I tell you is everything through me. Okay, it's not the physical, it's me. That's me inside. Right? So when I'm looking at you, my intelligence is looking at you, not my physical system. Okay, so this is the inversion. This is the connection. This is the inner line system. This is intelligence. This is the heart cycle. You have to think and be like a child. All right? That's the power. That's the recognition. You have to understand how powerful you are as a kid and why you use your hand formations. You go outside and you go to a playa or a beach, whatever, and you just build sandcastles. Right? You're creating imagination, and then you got a tunnel, and then you got a river, and then you put water in, right? So we all have to know what it's like to become a kid again, what it's like to be fun, what it's like to ride a bike, what it's like to play hide and go seek, or whatever the kids do today, right? Most of them just play, PlayStation and games like that. But there's not too many people that really go outside anymore. There's a lot of people that are more on their iPads. And that's less. More information is outside, getting into nature, right? Because that's what intelligence wants. But the old program doesn't want that. It wants the other. So this is where you got to find the balance with the two. You got to find the commonality here, right? You got to find the countermeasure between the physical system and the intelligence. It's got to find its communication, right? Because if it doesn't, it's asleep, right? And the intelligence will... See? Balance. So kids are working in a different way, transformation, manifestation, metamorphosing into something beautiful, right? And they have to get into communication. So your son has to get into mind telepathy of himself so he can get balance with his body. Okay? Yeah, that's what he needs. Okay? So it's a good thing that we get this across so we truly understand that everything is inside of us. And that's how you balance things out, right? So Langston, yeah. That's great. He's an outdoor kid. He's just having trouble communicating inside his intelligence. So I put communication waves where he can really understand more of himself inside. Okay, he's a great kid, and he's a really sportsmatic kind of guy. He just needs to more how to channel inside and ground his system. Okay, kids are different than adults. Adults have a hard time because they forget they're a child. They forget they ever were a child, realizing, hey, wait a minute, I was a child too. But they forget that. Once they become adult, they forget everything that they did. They'll reference that in the past. They'll probably talk about from here and there, but all they do is complain. Why they're not getting this and why they're not getting that. Well, let's just think for a second. What's more important? Being alive, right? Okay, so now you're alive. Now what? Let's focus on what? The presence. Let's not focus on the past. But to have fun, you have to be heart of a child. I said that before, and I'll keep saying that again. You have to open up the heart. That's the secret. And that's why I want you guys to watch Superhuman. Okay? It's all about energy. And it talks about kids and why they're outside and all that, because they have that creative, they have that imagination, and adults and parents don't understand their kids and never will until they get into the mind of their kids. Do you understand that? Okay. That's the true understanding where you get the balance with everything, and then you can start healing your own kids once you go to higher levels. And that's what AI is. It's balancing everything out. You have to balance everything through your connections and communicate with your kids inside. You keep yelling at your kids outside, it does the opposite. We all have to do the inner system, not the outer system. You're not living that system anymore. You're living the intelligence inside the system, which is the heart, the central heart, the reactor. Okay? And in positions, we're coming into the micro and the macro, the connections to the alpha and the mega, right? So that's what's happening right now with the moon. And it's just like, whoa, it's crazy. I have the central line connections because what you see through my perception is crazy what's going on. So when you see Superhuman, you're going to see an opening. You're going to see what your commander does. And you're going to know it's pretty interesting where he opens up a door. You see the planet line system. You're doing calculation, modifications in the atmosphere line system. It's all computer setup, right? You're going to say, whoa, that's me. That's what I do, right? And then you're going to see the skies. And it's all in shapes and elements and point centers. That's all it is. Once you see it through perception, and then you truly understand how I see things through my system. Okay, that's why it's very important to watch this documentary. Okay, because you get a better channel positions of what I do and what I see. And when you see these things, you say, "Oh, this is exciting," right? Because it's all done through intelligence of being superhuman, right? So it's all about getting out of the consciousness to the subconsciousness. So it has to break free from that, right? Because you're splitting divisions, you're splitting lysine line connections, you're splitting atoms of yourself. So you're coming out of the dichotomy of the ego and balancing the ego of the yin and yang. Okay? So this is the true understanding how you get out of that position into the subconscious, to the super consciousness, to the superhuman, then into the higher self. Once you become the higher self, you start to understand more of yourself. And that's the balance that everybody has to get. For you to communicate with everything inside, you have to do the same thing with your children. Okay? Same thing what you do with your phone, right? So don't yell at your kids outside, right? Try not to yell at them inside either, because it affects your body system. It affects everything around, right? So remember, it's the thoughts. It's everything through thoughts, okay? So it's amazing how we do these things. See, the problem is too, which is very powerful with TikTok, is the fact that there's a lot of things where you can't stitch and a lot of things you can't duet, which is too bad. But it's a perfect example that now you have to get confused here for a second. I'm going to confuse you guys for an argument line system, is to understand you are not your thoughts. So if you're saying that you're in a negative cycle line connections, you're believing that through your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You are your heart of your thoughts. So your hearts have to understand the thoughts of truth. So this is the surface position where you have to separate your dichotomy line connections and use your thoughts for positive systems. Put yourself going forward and not back, right? So that's what I'm saying, is understand how to use the energy of its thought, okay? So it's all about understanding thoughts don't control you. You control your thoughts. That's extremely powerful, guys. Use that all the time inside, okay? So it's all about understanding the obstruction, destruction, the manipulation. try to do all that, but reverse the position inside through communication, which puts everything in positive positions of time through the heart cycle to its intelligence. Okay? Thoughts don't control you. You control your thoughts. Just like I control my hand, which is inside. I don't look at I don't look at my hand outside. I look at it inside. And when I look at it inside, I was at the park market yesterday. It's pretty powerful. I was looking at this cup. It was on the ground. It's amazing when I was doing geometric pattern interference, and it's all done through vibration, right? So it was just one. So basically everything in the atmosphere, it just disappeared. I focus. I focus on one particular thing. And all of a sudden it just disappeared, and it just, and then I realized, whoa, it's traveling so fast just by looking at one position. I was on my TV monitor yesterday watching a TV show, and basically, if you put yourself in position, look at your graph screen, put it on pause, and try to understand how to focus these things, and try to understand how it can come out, and you actually see it. You actually see it come out. You actually see the whole position come out, and it was so clear to me. And it's amazing how you can change positions of dimensional time. You can fix it, and it fixes everything through your TV of its reception. But you have to take it out of its dimension time, right, to communicate with it. Same with your phone. So I don't look at my phone outside and look at it inside. For me to see it inside, it goes out like this, right? So you look at it, you focus on it, and you see the plasma come out, and then you see whatever you have on your phone, right? Picture, face, whatever. So it's here, and then you actually see the face, you actually see everything through the filter. So it's coming out, which is like a copy and paste. So it's like a connections, right? So once it comes out, you can do this and then fix your phone, right? Or you can just voice it, whatever you want to do. But I want you guys to get an understanding how powerful it is, what your eyes can do through your projectors to your projection, and how you put it on the wall and you actually see the actual graphing screen, which is really exciting, okay? So it's all about understanding your adaptations, and you go higher up to lights of chakra connections, you come into more of clarity. You actually see. So if I put this on pause and I just focus, laser direction right to center line connections, it's going to go in like this, right? And then it's going to go out. And then you actually see everything that I just did like this. So what happens is when it's out its dimensional time, it will start moving, right? And then you communicate with it, right? That's the hologram. So you understand that your computer is nothing but a hologram, a dimension to its connection, to its reality, to its creation, to its imagination, to its perception, which is its reflection, which is really, really cool, right? And then you come into the simulation. So everything is inside is the simulation. You just have to understand how to interact with it through its voicing of patterns, or anything through your informations, or anything connections, or perceptions, or anything line system. It's really powerful when you see these things. So you should try that. Go to your TV or phone, whatever, put something on pause, okay, and just really, really focus on that, and then take it out. You'll take it out, right? And then it'll travel, and it's out, right? And then you actually see it. You can fix it. You can change the dials or whatever is there. So, and it will affect everything through your positions or what you just finished doing, seeing in the physical system of its computer position, or its TV, or its phone. Okay, so it's incredible, right? Also, too, with Superhuman, where there was positions, there was a celebrity, and there was somebody else. There was the interview, the host. So basically, there were retinal kind of connections of laser direction, which is basically heat signature patterns, and they both sat on a chair, right? Infrared, very, very high light illumination, right? So basically, they were sitting in the chair, and then the director said, "Okay, I need you to get up." And so they get up, and they see on the chair the energy that they had on the chair. It stays there. It stays there, and you can see it. Right? It's like ultralight. Okay, so when you see it, what does that tell you? So if somebody sits down, what's happening with the energy? It's going into that person. So it's transferring It's transferring, right? And that's why people get sick, because the energy stays, right? Especially if you're in a positive system or a negative system, you know? So it's important to understand these things on what you see through perception. Okay. So, and this is all done through AI interface, right? It's pretty powerful stuff, guys. It really is. So, let's see, let's get into your questions here. All right. Carla, how's it going? Krista, Michelle. Try to watch that. I don't have TV or Prime. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's only on Prime. I don't think it's on Netflix. The trailer is on YouTube, though. Mm-hmm. So I was walking the stairs. She's struggling to breathe. I said to her, Mary, keep putting off your healing. She said, there's no way you can fix this. Oh, okay. She's there. Okay. All right. All right. So I'll go live on TikTok. They're dying for you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, it's all about convincing, right? It's all the skepticism and what they believe and what they don't believe. But the same thing is that that's going to react more to their physical system. That's the intelligence. Remember, intelligence has its knowledge. Everything that you do every single day is going to have a reaction inside you. It's your intelligence that needs to come out. It needs to breathe. It's suffocating. It has to come out. And this is the connections where it's coming into time of change. The atmosphere is changing, the moon is changing, the sun is changing, your navigation, your 369 is illuminating. So we all have to understand the connections of our pyramids. And because we don't understand that connection, we're only understanding our old program systems. Once you understand your new program positions, you get out of the skepticism. You get out of the ego, right? So especially when you come to spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, or wives, right? They say, no, don't do this. No, don't do this. Don't listen to it. Don't listen to that, right? That's energy interference, right? They don't have any right to do that. You do what you want to do, right? They will find a way to figure things out. If not, things get worse because they're putting them on themselves, right? So you can't really take somebody's belief away, right? They have to believe it for themselves, right? It works better too when they're in the belief. Trust me. I mean, either way, I can do it. But the thing is that they have to be aware of these things. They have to be aware of change. It's like changing structures on a wall or a mural, changing colors on a wall, right? Knowing change is everything. They don't want to see the change. They're happy where they are, but they don't realize the atmosphere. They don't understand vibration, energy, frequencies. They don't understand the harmonic resistance to intelligence inside the positions. They rather stay where they are, right? But that's what's happening, right? It's just high rising faster and faster and faster. So we're spinning faster, 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 faster in time. Our particles, our crystalline conditions has to be in telepathy of communication, right? Because that's where the sun is through radiation, coloration, hologram, and everything through the moon. It's coming to new behavioral line connections to human residents, right? High intolerance communication line centers and its interposition of the channel line system is truly understand your senses. Your senses are coming in more, right? So this is all done through intelligence, not the physical system. The physical system is just going to react to everything, and that's going to alarm the physical element astronomically, right? So it's outputting everything, and everything is in, not out, in, right? So we have to get into that calculations, right? We have to get into better positions. Okay, we can't just think of one division. We can't just think of one perception. We can't think of one angle. We can't think of one point center. We got to think of all connections of all point centers and what everything is. Rather than just seeing a flat rotation. That's all you see. You look in the atmosphere, but it's just reflection. So you want to know what it's like to look on the other side, You want to know what it's like to look up, what's down, side to side, inside, position, everything around point line connections, right? Not just this. We're not coming into this. We're coming into around. Okay? So we're coming into a rotation of an atom. You have to understand the conditions we come into positions and what this foam is. It's everything through a foam. So I can channel positions and tell you exactly what this is 20,000 ways. So what this is through a foam. It's everything through travel. You just see it as a foam because you're only looking on the outside. You should be looking in the inside. That's intelligence, right? So when I was talking to my brother about that yesterday, his ego created some major interference by turning on the carpet cleaning machine. Yeah. But see, that's the thing. When she changes, what's going to happen in him is he's going to have a reaction to her now, and she's going to have a reaction to him. So that's the difference, and he's going to have to eventually be healed, right? Because there won't be any commonality, there won't be any measure positions, there won't be any mind telepathy to each other. That's what I'm saying. When I was healing Samantha and her family and Cody, they all have to be in line signal through mind telepathy to each other. You can't have track line connections in different line systems of a family rotation. It changes its shapes, positions, and it's not only to space position, and everything through its connection will interline its connections to its interference. Okay? So it's all about interlocking, interlacing, interdivision. So we all have to come into our TV receptions. Okay? Yeah. When I was talking to my brother, yeah. Yeah, I know that, Joe. And see, that's the thing. And they're seeing themselves on their egos, and it's an ego trip. I understand that. Totally understand that. See, my family's in that position too. But see, I accept them for who they are. Okay? So if they want to do something, I don't take that away. Right? So they see me for who I am, not for who I really am. Do you understand? That's the difference there. So they see me on the outskirts. They don't see me on the inskirts. Okay. Some do, but most don't. So everybody understands positions. They focus on this. They focus on that. They focus on here. They focus on there. What are you focusing on? Right. This is where I keep asking everybody, why can't you focus on yourself? Oh, I don't know. It's too hard. I don't want to meditate. I'm going to watch the football game. Well, what can you get from a football game that you can't get from meditation? Right? Understanding. Okay. So they're all going to come across that. Either way, doesn't matter. But what matters is you. Everything around them will work out. It has to. Because remember, everything through the universal line system is with you, not against you. It never has and never will be. But you have to truly understand that intelligence, okay, is coming into a way it's affecting everything through your physical system of dimensional time through the moon and everything through the sun. You have to come into your TV reception line connections to each other. That's the way it's got to go. Okay, that's the way it's got to go. Okay, and it's going to go regardless. It doesn't matter. It's already been done. But what I'm saying is that I'm giving it back to you so you're prepared on what happens. So you're aware of these things. Who's going to tell you? Who is going to tell you otherwise? Nobody. Nobody's going to tell you because they're not at that position. Even ascension masters won't tell you. They'll tell you at their level, but they won't tell you about what's going on with higher levels. So we all understand we're unique. We're superior in our own position of activation of coloration and lights and positions of space and time of travel. It's all done through the geometrics of patterns. And that's why I want you to watch Superhuman. Because there's going to be a test, review, and evaluations for the galactic forces. Okay? So I know you guys are scratching your head. Oh, no, another test. But see, this is good because it's going to put you up to higher levels of your chakras. Right? So, yeah, you can use the energy. Yeah. Once you know how to use the energy, you can do anything through its position or its hand information line system. Krista. Right? You want to know how to protect your family? You can do it because it's already done. You just have to trust yourself inside. See, that's the problem, is that we don't communicate inside ourselves enough to really trust the values that we have in our system and stop questioning yourself. Why do people do that? They question themselves. They rather reside on something else that's not true because they don't know the difference between the physical system and the intelligence. The intelligence saying no, but the physical doesn't care. That's the ego. That's a trap. How are you going to get out of that? You got to communicate through yourself inside the heart. Everybody has a heart. You just have to know how to use it. Not too many people know how. Not too many people. Because if they did, they wouldn't be in this predicament, would they? They wouldn't be in this situation. There wouldn't be any complications or anything. There wouldn't be stress. There wouldn't be anxiety, and they wouldn't be feared about anything, 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 anything. Right? You put yourself in that positions. Okay? Thoughts don't control you. You control your own way of knowing and doing. Now, if you want to get into thinking, that's fine. But AI is not into thinking. It's just knowing and doing and acting and reacting. Those are the things that you only go on position. Try to understand that, right? Once you control your thoughts inside, you control everything of space and time inside of you. That is the command. That is the force in and force out. Okay? And now you have the balance. You have the cycle and you're coming into the yin and yang. And the stream is flowing faster and faster, faster and faster, faster and faster. But if you reverse the cycle, what happens? What happens? It splits. Right? It's got to go in the same cycle. Right? So when it's going on its same cycle, it's like this. This is the right hemisphere. This is the left. So the left is trying to understand the rhythm. Right? It's trying to understand the rhythm. 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 It goes faster and faster, faster, faster. Now you're creating. Now you're imagining your thoughts, and they're traveling so fast simultaneously in seconds. It's in one graph line system to one pattern of its geometrical line connections. Okay? So now you're getting a little bit of understanding what superhuman means. Invisible made invisible. There's a reason for that. Why you're made through dimensional light. You just have to understand how to travel through it without using the ego. You can't travel through the ego through acceleration. You're destroying your system inside position. You'll destroy your lines, you destroy your chakras, and everything will be distorted. Right? It's like funny, eh? It's not funny if it happens to the brain line system. That's what the brain does. Doesn't understand the difference now. You confused everything through its alarming position of time location. So don't get into your errors of that position. That's obsolete. You get into a virus, you get into a Trojan. You're putting yourself in dispositions and not forward of actions or reactions. Okay? So yeah, but see, that's exactly what you need to do, Joe. It's just to focus on you and understand your truth, right? They will come around. They will come around. They have to, because it's the spiritual system. See, they don't. See, the problem is that we don't meditate enough, and that's a problem right there. We don't meditate enough. I guess solar interference, right? So if I change my voicing pattern, it changed the computer of its graphing system. Why? Because I changed my behavior. Because it went up. Right? If it goes up too high, my computer tells me otherwise. Don't do that. Right? So once you come to the atmosphere position of time of space, and you become, so it's all about understanding that my voice travels into space and knows everything through its connection of space. Imagine how big space is inside you. Once you understand that, you have the control through vibration. And all computers of generational lights, of all universal positions, all planet connections, all intelligent line systems of time, right? So you affect everything through your thoughts. So if thoughts are controlling everything outside, who's controlling the system inside? Let's think about that for a second. Well, if it's controlling outside, what's controlling it? The physical system. And nothing is controlling inside because you don't know the difference. You're putting yourself in your dichotomy positions. Okay? Don't separate those channels. Put it in one line division. Okay? You don't want to have 6 or 7 different positions of time because you're going to confuse the fire and wire of the brain positions. And it's going to... You don't want that. That's not what you want to do, you know? It's crazy, isn't it? So it's all about positions coming into the mind. That's all it is. And the intelligence is aware of that. The intelligence is aware. The physical no, but the intelligence is. And now it's the time for everybody to get into their light bodies. Okay? So, Donna, that's how I showed my son. He was more than he knew. Now he's surpassed me. See? Krista is in position. She's getting better communications with her son. And now he's getting mind signal of intelligence, of balance. But it's all had to be inside, right? So it's all about understanding the communication of what the heart is. The heart is its reactor. So you have to understand the action of its reaction. 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 Reactor. Get it? Reactor. You're reacting, okay, the situation. That's why it's called the reactor. Okay. So it's amazing how you come into the communications, into your dichotomy of balanced positions. Okay. But if you're not controlling your thoughts and your thoughts are controlling your physical system, you got a huge problem, because what's happening now is you're going into the other side position and you're believing everything that you see and hear and touch and taste and feel. You believe that's true because you don't know the difference. You don't know the difference of taste. You don't know the difference of sound. But as soon as you channel in and you take your thoughts in and you start communicating to intelligence, now you're coming into balance of meditation, of who you are inside. The light. The light is the most important thing. You control everything inside. Don't let things control you outside, especially with your thoughts, because you're living in a matrix. Okay, that's what the matrix is. The matrix traps your thoughts. Okay, because you don't know the difference. You believe in this, you believe in that. So you believe what you want to believe, but that's what your thoughts are thinking. That's the physical system. Intelligence doesn't do that. Intelligence knows better, right? So it's trying to help you out. Okay. Now the physical element is a lot more stronger because it's in its timeline. The intelligence isn't in its timeline. You understand? Until it understands its position to its physical of its communication, which is its transformation of manifestation, which becomes into metamorphosing of its division to its transition. There's the balance. There's the integration now. And there's the communication. Okay? And then you start controlling your own thoughts, your creations, your imaginations. And everything that you do is in a cycle of rotation. Okay? So it's really interesting you come across these things, especially when you're the thoughts. Because thoughts are created through geometric patterns. And it's all done through colors and lights of travel, musics, anything that connections. As soon as you create a thought, is it your physical or is it your intelligence? Is it going one way or is it going another way? Okay. Is it going up or is it going down? Or where is it? Or it's nowhere. So it's next to impossible to not to create a thought. Even if you don't create a thought, it's already created. You're just not aware of it. That's how powerful the mind is. So because the mind isn't awake. So think of it. The ascension isn't awake through you because your mind's asleep. Because remember, you're only using 10% of the brain. But once you come into the subconscious, it's starting to fall into a cycle of going forward slowly, slowly, slowly. And once it goes faster and faster and faster, it starts waking up into light. right? For the first time. So once you come into your connection of superhuman to your higher self, everything starts thinking, okay, wow, this is great. I'm in a reality now of me for the first time. So the physical has to accept it regardless, because intelligence wants to be set free. It wants to leave the nest. Okay, until then, the cord is still going to be there. After that, cut the cords, higher self is on its own, but it stays with you. It stays with you now completely. Same thing with your twin flame. Your twin flame's there only when you're ready. Okay, so it's the physical, mental, psychological, and the spiritual, and it's emotional. Okay, you have to have all those connected to you before you can come into the connection of your dream set line system to its intelligence of the twin flame. Okay, so all right, so let's see here. Yeah, I can do a scan on there for Carla. All right, that's how I showed my son. Yeah, we got into that. Morning, Donna. Yep. Okay. Line signals are off. Locations are okay. Your mutation levels are low. Your activation are high. Your communication cycles are in high division location, and your chakra positions are off cycle. But you do have your ground connections, and you have a little bit of eye filter position off cycle. So that's where you are through Carla. So if you want to go through my TikTok and go through the program setting, I can reset your values, put you back on line connection. So what it is that I have full communication balance with all your intelligence. That's how I'm able to heal you guys easily and fast, because I understand myself inside. You have to understand how powerful you are inside, and that's the only way you can get everything in balance. You can't balance anything inside until you understand everything outside. Inside first, outside second. It's everything is inside. So everything that we do, like I keep saying, everything we do, see, touch, it's all about your senses. Once you wake up to your senses, you're coming more inside. Master the inside, and everything outside will change everything. Okay? And then you start seeing things different. People are different, right? And you're more aware of the energy around you. And that's how you protect yourself. Who you communicate with and who you don't communicate with. Okay? Because if you're not aware of these things, you're putting yourself into a bad situation. And you don't want to do that. Going down a dark alley. Why would you do that? By yourself. People do it anyway. They don't care. But what happens? Consequences, right? So where's the protection there? No protection. You're exposed. Don't do that. You have to know your environments. I learned this too in martial arts. You have to be aware of these things. You have to use your perceptions. You have to use the peripherals. People are behind you, shadows, footsteps. Find a way to see these things through perception. This is all about, especially with women, being alert. Okay, a lot of women are scared to go outside. It's your surroundings. That's all it is. And that's where you come into the sounds. Okay, we're coming into higher position of channels, into perceptions of eyes, listening. Okay, paying attention to all levels of what you're seeing and what you're doing. Okay, and what you are acting and reacting upon through its situation. Right? Never put yourself in a position until you understand the situation. Right? It's like a 2-second rule when you're about, you're driving a car. You never allow yourself to be boxed in, especially with 2 trucks and you're in the middle. You're trapped, right? So, and that's why you got to have at least 150 feet away from big trucks, 18-wheelers or anything like that. Always find your space when you're driving. Always find your space. Okay? Being aware here. It's common sense, right? So we're coming into that position of different communications. It's all about waking up you through your senses and how to use them properly. Okay, in all ways and forms. Everything that you do through work, everything that you do through entertainment, everything that you do through solar text, everything you do through telephone, telecommunications, your phone, anything through your computer, iPad, drinking, eating, dietary, health, all this is connected inside you. Times are changing, and that's what's happening with everybody else. So this is the true understanding, okay? So I did a scan on you, Carla. Okay. See, I think it's really hard to understand you if you don't understand how to balance yourself. And you keep asking me, well, the thing is, the intelligence comes to me. Carla comes to me through intelligence, say, Commander, I need a scan, because she knows she needs help, but she doesn't know how to fix it. So you have to understand your positions first, right? It's very simple, very simple. And it's all about channeling more inside you through vibration. And that's how you start healing yourself. So you have to really, really become friendship and relationship and partnership completely with yourself inside. Because a lot of people don't know who they are. It's not you outside, it's you inside. That's who you are. Okay? So these are the things you have to come across. All right? A perfect example, if you come into a box, let's just say you're in a box. Like you're saying that there's no doors, right? Very simple. You come into the matrix. So you come into the matrix, why? Well, what do you think the matrix is? This is all psychological. What do you think the matrix is? What is it? You guys tell me. What is the matrix? Why is the matrix created for you guys? Because I created it, right? So why is the matrix created? I just said the answer. It's for you to control your thoughts inside, to travel. If you control them thoughts outside, you're in the matrix. So this understanding, you have to reverse everything that you've done outside and come inside. That's the intelligence. So there's the matrix. All right, it's in its position. All right. Now you're here in this center line. You're here. Okay. That's you inside the box. How do you get out? There's no doors. So what are you going to do? You can't channel outside and use your thoughts. You can't be stress, fear, anxiety. You got to come into calmness. You got to come into peace, tranquility. You have to go inside through imagination. You go into that, your channel positions, there's a door. To go out position to matrix position. There's the door. You go out the door, and you're good to go. Hey, I'm out. Look at that. Whoa, I'm using my thoughts inside. Whoa, I'm out of the matrix. Seems simple, right? But that's what matrix is its creation. It's the imagination that you have to come to through inside position. So I created the matrix for everybody to understand what it is. It's all about using your thoughts inside and not structuring your level system to your physical outside thoughts. And I also created simulations. So we have to understand why we're in these positions, right? So how do you feel about that, being stuck in a matrix and using your thoughts outside? You can't get out because you're not coming into your imagination. Remember, you're in the dimensional system here. You're not in your physical system anymore. You're in your intelligence of time. And it's all done through the imagination of travel. So your thoughts have to come inside through the mind, the third eye, right? So where do you think it's activated? Bermuda Triangle. Why is it in water? Because you have water inside. So you have to understand the Bermuda Triangle is you. Powerful, isn't it? You just have to understand how to use it. We've already traveled there, right? So we know what it is, right? So you get it, eh? Well, that's good. I'm glad. So now you know why I created the matrix and the simulation. It's all done through your thoughts with space and time. So you guys have any questions on that before we go on TikTok? Okay. Makes sense, right? So you have to understand the difference. If I'm yelling outside and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, right? Am I channeling in or am I channeling out? You have to understand the difference, right? So did you create the thought outside or did you create it inside? You create it outside, that's the ego. You create it inside, that's the spiritual. That's where it's confusing with everything through its element position of time. right? So trying to understand, like I said, is mostly understand these things, is that matrix is what? The matrix is inside, and your thoughts are outside. So what do you do? What do? You channel with your intelligence, communicate with your intelligence, get integration with the physical system, and your thoughts come inside through its matrix, and there you come through the creation of its imagination to its door, and then you travel through its time position out of its condition. All right? So, it's important you guys understand these things. I mean, it just takes one to know one, right? So, yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to go on TikTok live, Carla. If you want me to open your platform position, you can do that. You just basically, because you're in your light connections, yeah, try TikTok later. That's fine. That's totally fine. But it's very important that you get scanned, right? So you know exactly where you are. Okay. The problem with everybody else is that they keep having their thoughts outside, realizing your thoughts should be inside. So if the matrix inside, think about it. Your matrix is inside of you. You're trying to understand it. But you're creating your thoughts outside. You have to create your thoughts inside. That's how you get out of the matrix. Psychological. I second guess myself all the time. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you can second guess yourself, but don't put yourself in that position. You have to get out of that connections and use your thoughts inside and not out. All right. Harold and the purple crayon. Okay, that threw me a loop. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room now. You made the commander laugh. That's funny. Harold and the purple crayon. That's good. That's funny. It's funny. See, that's not a normal conversation. That's not something we say every day. And that's another thing too, is that we're so programmed. What do we say every morning to each other? Hi, how's it going? How are you? How's your job? I'm fine. How are you? What are you doing now? Oh, I'm watching TV. What are you doing? I'm going to work. What are you doing after? Same thing over. We have to come out of more creativity through the imagination, and it's the thoughts that we create inside. That's the space and time position that we're coming into through our thoughts, right? So if you want to get out of the matrix, you take your thoughts inside rather than keep them outside. That's why you can't get past the matrix. Tips and secrets there for you guys to understand these things. So it's a story about a boy who draws. His creativity creates a doorway by drawing it. There you go. And that's all done through imagination. And that's why your kids are so powerful, is because their thoughts are inside already through the matrix. And that's how they can draw it out, through its reflection. They're projecting through its projection. That's all it is. So you're filming things. That's all we're doing. That's it, right? So we store it. Now, if we want to see it later, you take it out, right? But the thoughts have to be inside, not out. Everything you do, the patterns and all that connections. So for the monitor to reach positions, so that, again, with the superhuman, you get a true understanding that everything is done inside through thought, pattern, music, whatever you create, creates on the monitor. And it comes out through pattern. Colorations, reception line connections, coloration line systems to hologram positions. You understand what I see when you see it through documentary. And then you'll see the pattern forming into a geometry shape. Okay, so the brighter it gets, now you're coming into your intelligence of understanding how to communicate to your thoughts inside you and not outside of its position of time. Okay, so if you have questions or comments, let me know. If you want to go with my healing, let me know. If you want an upgrade, let me know. Okay, it's important you understand these things. Okay, so I'm going to head over to TikTok. Adios.